What's up everyone, it's Phoenix here, bringing you guys another video. So, I watched the whole documentary series with Jake Paul, the whole Shane Dawson documentary series, and I know that there's been a lot of controversy behind it, and, you know, in some ways that's, it's valid. In general, I thought that it was really well done. There was definitely a whole mess with, the Paul family and just everything with Team 10 and everything. But I think that this documentary series was very necessary because it explains a lot. It doesn't necessarily excuse his actions or any of their actions, and it doesn't, fix any of that. But it takes a step in the right direction. Like, suddenly everything makes sense because everything was explained all at once in one big series. And it wasn't, it didn't seem like anyone was really lying. I think they each told their side of the story. And it turns out that Jake Paul is not necessarily a sociopath, nor is Logan Paul, but they could have tendencies, and that's just simply because of the way that they were raised. And honestly, it makes sense. A lot of what we do and how we act has to do with how we're raised. Parenting is a huge step in a person's life. Whether you think so or not, your parents are the most important people in your life because they are the ones that set the precedence of how you can behave. What is right, what is wrong. At the end of the day, that's on them. And we are responsible for our own actions. But at the same time, we can't really control how we're raised or how we are brought up. All of that comes from what we learn as we grow up, from other people, and making our own decisions. And I think this is the time where Jake Paul can really turn around. Like, I think that he has a solid chance of getting people to like him again. I don't know about Logan, because I don't know about Logan, but I think that if he does change the type of content that he does, maybe not drastically, but just like a little bit, he might actually be respected a little bit and not, treated the way that he's currently being treated. I'm glad that all of that drama is put away and we can finally say, hey, who is this new Jake Paul? Because I think this is his one chance to prove to everyone that he's human too. To show everyone who the real Jake Paul is. Because obviously he's been playing a character for so long that we don't really know who the real Jake Paul is. I mean, we got some glimpses of it with the documentary series, and it's not necessarily that his character is too far away from his real self, it's just that it might be a little bit exaggerated. I mean, a lot exaggerated. And I did the one thing I never thought I would do by the end of this series. I subscribed to him. I knew I was going to watch a series, but I told myself I would not subscribe to him. Because, I would hear his side of the story and, learn things, and I was curious, But at the end of the day, I did end up subscribing to him. But here's the thing, right? I'm interested in seeing where his new path goes, right? I'm interested in seeing if he will change and what he plans to do. The second that he does not, he goes back to sort of his normal self, his normal content, and the second that he, does something, I will be the first to unsubscribe. But I am curious about where this new direction is. I've never actually watched any of his videos, just the out of context ones. So I'm curious where he's planning on going with that. So yes, I did subscribe to him. I'm not going to subscribe to Logan. God no. But I did subscribe to Jake Paul. I'm just curious. At any point, I could honestly unsubscribe to him because I don't know if his content's really geared towards someone like me. Let's be honest. his audience is basically, Disney Channel's audience, 6 to 8, maybe even younger. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he has a young audience to everyone, really. And I watched his most recent video that he put out, I think, with the Shane and Alyssa and WTF. It was kind of interesting. It's not really my type of video. I don't know if I'll keep watching his content, but I liked the serious moments. I liked when he got real. And honestly, I like that when any YouTuber does that. Like when Markiplier does it, when PewDiePie does it. Because it really shows you who the real person is. It takes away the persona and says, this is him. This is the actual YouTuber behind all this character. It's sort of like an out-of-character moment. Like, yeah, every YouTuber has their like little persona. They do this, they do that. And sometimes it's liked, sometimes it's not liked. I frankly can't do that. I'm my genuine stuff. I am my genuine self. I just can't play a character. I don't see like the point of doing that. But a lot of people do. I mean, but for a lot of YouTubers who don't do the stuff that I do, like reactions, that's really the only thing that they can do to grow is play a character, an exaggerated version of themselves. And that's what a lot of people end up doing. And sometimes they get carried away, and sometimes people believe that that is their real person. And a lot of times it's not. It's just an exaggerated version of themselves. Now, sometimes it is actually them, and that's where the borderline, gets iffy. I'm down for, scripted videos. Like, I don't care. Just as long as, it's clear that it's scripted, And there's no, like, mixing with that. Because when you mix reality and fakeness, scripted lives, it gets to the point where it's like, okay, but what is real and what is fake? And at some point it doesn't really matter. But in other cases it's just curiosity. Anyway, so that's sort of my take on this whole thing. It's very interesting. And Shane did his like magic and wizardry work and made him look really good, even if he didn't mean to do that. And I don't think he meant to give, Jake Paul, like, a story arc. But it just kind of happened because we got to see the real Jake Paul and what he could be. And I think that's what's most important, is that whether you believe the lies or the truth or whatever you believe at the end of this, it doesn't matter. Because it means that everything is put in the past and we can just move on. And hopefully move on to a better future. Anyway, so that's sort of my thoughts on this. Comment down below, what do you guys think about the documentary series? Did you like it? Did you not like it? How do you feel about Jake Paul now? How do you feel about the Paul family in general? Comment down below. Leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content. After this, I'm going to get food. And also watch Titans when that releases. And apparently, I thought it was going to be released today. But I think it's released technically tomorrow. Because since there's like an hour left until it releases. But oh well. I'll wait however long it takes before they decide to post it. I think it posts on Fridays, I think, technically speaking. I thought it posted on Thursdays. The next episode is airing soon, and then whenever it does, I'll watch that. Anyways, peace out, guys. It's been a blast.